And we are all set and ready to go. Alright, so we are back in Satisfactory, where we were building this gigantic factory, and I guess we're just gonna keep on chipping away at it. So the next thing we need to do is deal with some more of these machines here. So that which produces a whole bunch of cable. These also need access to stators. So we need to get stators into here, and we need to get, what is it, into here? Quick wire and rubber into there. So we also need to bring those up to the next level. So let's work on making the next floor. All those holes in there are not anything anymore. We removed the things that use them. So let's get over here-ish and build a quick wall up just a little bit. This ought to be high enough. So then we can extend the foundation out. And this is going to be another logistics floor. So let's get this wall going up a little bit further. And that is going to go across there. Alright, so the first thing we need is to just cover up all of these sections here, because at least some of these are going to be going up. Alright, this goes across. And actually, I wonder if we want to do the quick wire on that same floor. You could probably fit it in. It's probably relatively simple. Yeah, let's actually see about that. So this, how much do we need? 797 quick wire. And what recipe we're using? I assume fueled, or fused. So that's 90 per assembler there, and these use 6.8 some. So 90 divided by 6.818 is a completely useless number, as expected. So there's what, 40 of these, so I'm just going to have to do a casual 1 to 40 splitter, or rather 2 1 to 20. 2 1 to 20s, because 797 would be more than a full belt if I try to do 1 to 40 directly. So I guess that's going to be the plan. So we have to get down here and may as well do all this on this floor. Actually, is that true? We have these belts over there, which are probably going to be at least partially in the way. I guess we'll see. I mean, the splitter shouldn't be... It's going to be like a 1 to 5, and then a 1 to 4 off of each of those. So yeah, this shouldn't be that bad. So let's just start putting in the splitters. So these go every other assembler. And just pop them in. And we require a whole lot of them. So let's do this. Try not to mess up, because if we misplace, it's going to be annoying. So these all go in. And there. And there. Yeah, this is definitely a giant factory. I think this is the biggest factory we've done by a significant margin. Like, the previous biggest was the heavy modular frame factory, and this has half of a heavy modular frame factory just built in. Hang on, I think I lost track there. Yeah, this one needs to get a splitter. As does that one. And then hopefully we lined all these up correctly. It'd be real annoying if we didn't. But we'll figure out now. So these belts all go in. And we just have to run along like this until all of these are done. So let's get these belts placed. And keep going along. Just keep on moving, placing all of the belts in. Alright, so now, instead of 40 assemblers, now we have 20 splitters. So now we just need to get this another row down. So you get a splitter, and then skip you. We just have to put these in every other one. And try to be compact. So we just run along here, placing all of these in. And keep going. Alright, almost there. Alright, so those are all in. So now we have to connect these across, which is going to have to be default mode because straight mode is silly when the curves are that short. Alright, so now we should be at the point where we need to make the... Oh, did I forget to do that? Yes, I did. That would have been annoying to discover later. And I did get that one, right? Yes. Alright, cool. On we go. So, what we need to do now is, I believe the next one is just the 1 to 5. So currently we have a bunch of 1 to 4s. So multiply that by a 1 to 5 and you get 20. And we have 40 total. And we need to put them in 2 batches of 20. So this should be fine. Alright. So now we go 1, 2, and 3. So this is going to be the center point of the first one. So let's get some space over here. And that should probably be enough. So now we just get these lined up properly. And push them back a little bit. And that ought to be good. Alright, now how much is this actually? So it's 6.818. 818 times 4 is 27. So each of these individually will be less than a belt, but this will be times 5, so it'll be 136. We're going to need Mark 3s at least. Alright, so that needs to come out and just get placed in like this. There we go. And then we go out to that one. And we go over here. And into that one. So that's one of the 1 to 5s done. Now we just have to get the other, which is going to be centered on 1, 2, and 3. And I can also count. There's 2 more over there, which means we did the math right. Nothing has gone horribly wrong just yet. You love to see it. Alright, so then we expand that space out. Get the balancer in. Push it back a little bit for spacing. And now we just put all these in. That goes there. This comes around this way. And goes in there. Alright, then this goes to there. This goes around that way over to there. Alright, so now we need to make sure that these are all Mark 3s so that we don't have any problems, and get the same thing over for this one. And these are very far apart, aren't they? Might be a bit annoying. Should be fine. Not like we're going to need a small amount of assemblers to get all the wire together. Alright, so now the quick wire fused is 90 per minute from an assembler, so 797 divided by 90 is like 9 of them. So, I guess we'll have 4 going each way, and then the last one will be in the middle that splits to both. Should be easy enough. So, let's see here. Are we going to be able to fit these just like in here? Is this an insane place to put it? Potentially. So I think the easier situation will be, like, we can just move those back pretty easily. So if it does become a problem, that's what we'll do. So I think we want actually to get these further up here. And then the copper and caterium for this is obviously going to be coming from above, so we don't need that much space here. That might be too close, but it should be fine, right? We have plenty of time to curve back on ourselves if we really need to anyways. Alright, so then this can expand out in either of those 2 directions. And this is going to be fused quick wire. So we need 1, 2, 3, and 4 there. And we need 1, 2, 3, and 4 there. Did we get the recipes in? Good. Alright, now let's just confirm the math one last time. So this is 6.818. Oh, I had some random buttons. 6.818 times 40. Oh, so we also have to make quick wire elsewhere, is what this is saying, obviously. Alright, well I guess that does make it easier for this, but it does mean we're gonna have to transport the rest of the quick wire, because we're doing quick wire stators, I think. So ultimately it's fine, we're just gonna have this go up a bit to where we craft the stators. Is that fine? Alright, so what was the 272.72 is going to go directly in here. So that is just ever so slightly more than 3 of these. Okay, that's fine. And then the rest can just go to the other stuff for the stators. Alright, this is all fine. It's going to be a little bit weird. Probably shouldn't have made the quick wire on this level. I should have made it on the level above and then sent some of it down. So I guess that's what we'll do. So the level above, we're going to make the stators. And then we'll send the quick wire down into these two, into these machines. So in order to make that easier, let's just combine these up in one last splitter. And that can be Mark III there. And then it can go all the way across over here. Okay, apparently clicked somewhere down there to start building this. So this is going to be moving like 130 some. B-Power, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Well, I'm not going to be following you on Discord or anything. So we have this. That is all set up. And now this is 272.72. Alright, I tried to place the sign, but I had to click twice and it just instantly cleared out of it. Alright, so this is quick wire, and it is 272.72. And so that is going to be going up to this next floor as well, along with seemingly everything else. Alright, so let's then set up all of these to go in to the next floor up. So we do that, bring it up, swap to the floor hole, place it in, and now that just works. Alright, cool. So now we just have to get all of these aligned up to there. And this is for the rubber, which we're probably going to have to just do something similar to this, but we'll do that up on the next floor where we have space. So these get placed like one tick back from the edge. Easy enough. So these all go in. And it's just going to be a bit of time-consuming floor hole placement. The thing I like the least about this particular design pattern that I do here. Also, don't stand on a moving belt. It's going to throw everything off. Is that lined up? Is that? Yes, it is. Cool. Alright, so we just keep going along. And along. Placing all of the floor holes until the rubber is all up on the next floor. And then once we're up there, we're going to merge that up in the old 1 to 40 or whatever. Although we might not be able to fit it all in. This might be the full 590 rubber. I'm not entirely sure though. So we're gonna have to get all these in and then do the math on how much we can merge those up later. Alright, so all these go in. And so the next floor we're gonna have to be dealing with the stators. And we also have to move all sorts of things up through it. And I think I'm gonna start merging up the other final production parts just for the sake of simplicity. Not having to do all of this for all of the production parts will save a lot of time, I think. And a 1 to 10 splitter every so often isn't that bad. Alright, so this is almost done. Did I skip this one? I almost skipped this one. And there we go. That looks like I didn't miss any just on brief inspection. So now we just connect these up. And then that will be that. Alright, so these all go up, all billion of them. And we also have to do the stators in the same way. And fortunately, we're also going to have to move the assembly parts up. Yeah, there's a whole lot of steps to do here. But moving up this floor is going to take a lot of work. But then hopefully we'll be able to deal with most of it on the logistics floor so that we only have to move a couple belts up to the next floor above that. Alright, so these all go up. And we just keep going. Alright. Make sure to place that in. And keep going. Almost at the end. Yep, there we are. Alright, so that is all of the rubber production up to that floor. So then, the next thing we need to get is the stator production, which is all the way over there. And the other project parts, which are also all the way over there. So we slide on over this way. And these logistics floors tend to start off as not really floors so much as more like weird little partial floors. so that goes all over. Fortunately, there are a whole lot less than 40 of these. There's still like 20 of them, though, which is not nothing. Alright, and they're lined up the same as the other ones. There's a lot more belts running around here. So those all go in. And we just have to get all these floor holes in, and then all the belts. So we have the stators to do, we have the quick wire, we have so much work left. What? Okay, that's a little weird, but fine. I just swapped over to using the other side here. It's not going to break anything. Should just be a mildly strange thing that doesn't cause any problems. How is this one lined up? Is that right? No, it's one to the left. There we go. Alright, so now we just keep on going. And placing the floor holes in. Ought to be just about there. Yep, sure enough, just a couple left, and then we can put the lifts in. Alright, this is the last one. Alright, there we go. Oh, I placed that wrong. My hand moved away slightly before I clicked. So we just keep on sending all these up. And then this will be done. Alright, we already placed that one in for alignment reasons. Then we just keep going until these are all filled up. Alright, so this is where the weird swap over happens, and then we're back to normal. Alright, there we go. So now we have all of those up, and then finally it's these two rows of manufacturers left. Also, that needs to be connected across. That's important. That would have definitely caused problems later if I hadn't caught it just now. Alright, so now we go up, and this goes across. And now we just have to cover up this area. And then do the same thing one more time. So this lines up to there. And just confirm that it works. It does. Cool. So now these are all lined up just in front of that. So these all go in, and these are in batches of 2, basically. Alright, so now we just go a little bit more there and there. And there and there. And there, and that's definitely not right. Alright, so we just keep on popping these in. That's also not right. tell by the spacing. So that is there, and that one is there. Then this one is there, and then one more set. There, and then all of those are in. So now we just have to drag all these belts up. And then that'll be that. Alright, almost there. So all these go up, and just a bit more until we won't have to do this the entire time. We're going to be simplifying these down to fewer numbers of belts in a moment. Alright, up you go. And there we are. Alright, so now all of that is up on the next floor. And then finally we need to go over here and grab these sort of miscellaneous belts and bring them up. And this logistics floor is going to be a good time to organize these into a sensible location instead of just having them be sort of scattered across the entire factory. So let's just do all that. Then we get each of these in like that, and that is 26.6, so that's fine. This is 240. So it needs to be Mark III. And then somewhere around here, see, this is why I don't like this. Is this a thing? No, that's just a splitter. Here is a belt that I almost missed out on completely. So let's make sure to get that covered up. And then in we go. I think this is 408. So that gets a Mark IV. And then we head over here to this, which is also going to get a Mark IV. Alright, so then this goes up there. And in. Alright, and did I set that as the right speed? No, I should have made it a Mark IV. Alright, so now we have this. We have all of these belts set up, and we need to make them somewhat sensible. So, step one is going to be merging up these massive rows, or rather splitting them off. And that is going to be the most time-consuming step. And then step two is going to be bringing those assorted belts into a central location so that they're not disrupting like this entire half of the factory. Oh, actually, it looks like we messed up placing one of these. Looks like I accidentally dragged that past the floor hole instead of into it. Good thing we caught that. Maybe it would have been hard not to, but you know. Alright, so now we have all of these. I think we are going to have them split this way. Pretty sure I can compact this all to use only this sort of central area of the factory. Would be quite nice. all these go in. And it's like 40 of these, right? So it's a 1 to 4 followed by a 1 to... No, I guess actually we can do this as a 1 to 8 followed by a single 1 to 5, and that'll be more efficient. Alright, so that... Actually, how much rubber is this going to be? 4.54 times 40 is 181. Alright, so we're plenty fine on belt speed, just have to use Mark IIIs at the end. So now we get in a splitter, every other one of these, and this is how we start making our 1 to 8. That aligned wrong. Yeah, I think that got nudged slightly off. So we get these splitters every other one, and then we just have to repeat the process 2 more times after this one, and that should give us a 5 to 40, and then we just do a 1 to 5 after that, and then the rubber will all be sorted. Alright, so all this goes across. It is somewhat time consuming, but it'll make everything so much easier once this is done. Because then we won't have to run literally 40 belts of quick wire everywhere. It'll just be the one. So this goes along like this. And soon the first 1 to 2 will be done. So then we'll have 20 splitters. And then we'll do that again, and we'll have 10 splitters, and we'll do it one more time, and we'll have 5 splitters. And then we do a 1 to 5, and then we can feed this whole thing with a single belt, and it'll all just work. Alright, so this goes along. And we just keep on placing. This first step is always the most time-consuming because it is dealing with the largest number of things. We have to place 40 belts for this, whereas next time we'll only have to place 20. Alright, so these all... Oh, shoot. Oh, dear. Okay, no, we just missed one. That's fine. It was almost a catastrophe. So that just goes into that. Don't know how we missed one. But it's fine. Everything still works. You just do that, and they're all in. Okay, so next row, just do this again. And we're going to be nice and compact, because there's no reason not to be. We'll save some space. We are going to have to run another line of foundations along here, but that is no big deal. Wait, I've just been placing these every single one, haven't I? I got distracted. Okay, so then that one is gone, this one is in. That one's gone, that one's in. That one is gone. Alright, helps. Always helps if you just don't make mistakes. So now we skip every other one. And then that should be that. Alright, so now these are all in. And go back to default mode. these are too compact for straight mode to do a good job. And we just have to drag along, make sure to get all these little internal belts, otherwise something will break. Of course, it won't be a huge problem, but we'll just have to fix it later, which would be annoying. Alright. Keep going. And we're most of the way done with this at this point. Alright, then that goes in like that. And that is the second row. So now we just need the third row, which is just the same as the second. We're going to need to put these foundations in. So let's run across and do that real quick. Oop, don't overshoot and fall down the floor. Alright, so foundations are all in. I really should not have placed that one splitter down there, because now I can't just start from this side, because I don't know how it's aligned, so I have to go all the way back here. Alright, so we go all the way back here, and we continue just going every other one. So we have one, and then we skip. And then we have one, and then we skip. I don't know why I removed that from my placing. So then we have one, and we skip, and that one, and skip, and that one, and skip. Alright, so now we just place all of these in, and there should be 5 of them total. Alright, so then each of these gets to be like that. And why would you do that? That makes no sense. Just go straight across. And one more. Alright, now I just have to confirm real quick. What is it? 4.545 times 8 is 36. So this whole thing is still clear. So we're just going to then need to get the last row, the 1 to 5. So that's the first one. This is the second one. This is the third one, and I can see 2 more over there, which means we are all good. So we just need to make a quick little area back there. And pop this in. And let's see, push it back a little bit. Doesn't need to be that much. So then we just send these all across to their various destinations. It is going to be quite the journey. Very, very spaced out. Alright, we are going to need more foundations along here for that to snap onto. So let's grab those, bring it over. And it just keeps coming over. And it goes in. Alright, so that is that half of the 1 to 5, and then we just have to go over and do the other half. Nice and easy. So you just go in like that. Then this one has to come out, and we're also going to need an intermediate stop here. And then back onto this part of the foundation and over a little bit more and in. Alright, so that is that done. So now we just have to make sure that this is all fast enough, and that should be good to go there. Alright, so that is the rubber all sorted up. Next, we need to do basically the same thing over here for the stators. Just get them all lined up into one singular belt for ease of transportation. And actually, hang on, wait. Let me just check something real quick. How much stators is this? It's 2.5. How much is this? Quickwire stator alt, which I'm pretty sure is the one we're using, is 8 per minute. So we can just have one of these per 2 of those. So instead of doing the full thing, I think it'll be more convenient just to do a single batch of splits, because the next floor up is going to be where we make the stators. So it doesn't really make sense to do all of that work sending them together just yet. So let's get all of these lifts in. And we're just going to merge these up into the... So we're going to split them off into the batches of 2, so we only have to send down half of these. So we have all those, and then we have the splitters, which go every other one. And just run along until we're done. And this will minimize the amount of lifts we have to send up to the next floor, while also not causing us to do extra balancing that we don't need to do. Alright, so this all goes across like that. And then we just need to do a little bit more with those. Alright, so that is that. So next, we need to take these 10 and honestly just... So if we're not going to have enough space this way to get one in. So if we want to do any of that, we're going to have to head over this way. So yeah, let's just do... Actually, I wonder if we can... squeeze one in this way. It's just a 1 to 10. It's not exactly enormous. So we just... let's put all these lifts in, and if we can't, then we can at least get in a little bit of work splitting it 1 to 2, so that we only have to move 5 belts up instead of 10. So yeah, each of these lifts is containing one of two things. I think it's like computers and circuit boards or something. Something like that. So we have to make sure not to get them mixed up. Alright, so that is all in. And if we can squeeze a 1 to 5 splitter in this tiny area, that would be hugely convenient. Alright, so we start with the splitters, and no messing around here, as compact as they'll go. So we skip that one and go there. Skip that one, go there. Alright, so now we place the belts in. And so even if the 1 to 5 doesn't fit into this area, we'll at least have done this, which will save us some time. But I think we might be able to just barely squeeze the 1 to 5 in here. It might mean getting a little bit creative. Yeah, we might have to get a little bit creative here, but that should be fine. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so this is the center. And we place this balancer in here. Alright, so if we just shift this over a little bit to be like that, and then move it back to there, and maybe another tick back, this should fit. This should just about fit. So then that goes across. I'm going to have to take those two out and just send them directly over this way, where that one goes into there. And this one comes a bit further and goes into there. Then these two are likewise going to have to curve directly over this way. That one goes in. That one comes a little bit over and then goes in. Alright, so that is the circuit boards, or the computers, either one. And we don't need a huge amount, right? We need 80 circuit boards total, but most of those are for the computer production, right? Gonna have to go all the way down to check. We have to go so far down. There's a lot of floors in this thing already. So yeah, we need 50 circuit boards for this, and 20 computers. So both of those are free to be Mark 1 all the way up. So we climb up, and a little bit further. Alright, so that is one of the two. Then we just have to get this one, which will mean expanding this out again just a little bit. I think I hit some weird button. So then this can just expand off this way. And we put all the foundations in. Alright, so now we put in the splitters. So we just get every other and do the same old 1 to 10 here as we did for the other one. And at this point, we very much should have done this ages ago, but that's fine. Alright, so you go there and there. Like we should have done this on a lower logistics floor rather than doing it up here randomly, but it's still fine, of course. It's not gonna break anything. It just might be a little bit strangely organized. Alright, so those are all in. Then we go here to the center. And we take a little bit more space. Don't need that much though. So then that can go in there. And now we just send these across. Into there and there. And then these go across. Into there. And into there. Alright. So now that mess has all been dealt with. The next thing is I want to organize most of these belts up into convenient locations. So these are the stators. Obviously, we're going to deal with them later. These are the rubber. So what I want to do is I want to take like the rubber and these belts and sort of just cluster them all together into one general area, which I think will be over here, like on this edge of the factory. So hopefully all the way over here, we're not going to be getting in the way of anything, right? Is the idea. So we can just move all of these over that way. And this is Mark IV. So this belt comes along this way and just goes across. Until we get it over here-ish, and we'll figure out the exact locations later. Alright, then we go over here, and we grab this one, which is Mark III. And it can come over here as well. You just go down there, and then line up there. And just keep going straight over this way. Right, so then that is in. Then we go back here. And this is Mark I. It's going to be one heck of a journey for these guys on a Mark I belt. As long as they make it eventually, I don't really mind. Alright, so that goes along this way and keeps on going. And then gets over there. Alright, so now we have to go back all the way over here and collect up this, which is Mark IV, because it's quick wire. Okay, so that gets all merged up. And I did leave a space here for them. So let's bring this belt over. And like that. Very close, but not overlapping. That's what we like to see. Alright, so now those are all together. Then the last thing we need is the rubber. We're going to leave the stators there because we're going to be dealing with them like immediately. So the rubber is how much? What was it, like 100 and something or 200 and something? I'm pretty sure it's Mark III. So let's bring this belt over this way. And we're going to need some extra foundations there. So you can stop there, and then we keep going. Alright, so this gets over to here. And then it is now in the same general vicinity as all these guys. So I guess we can just line it up there. Alright, now, so those are all over there. We do want to shift these just back ever so slightly. I guess their current placement is probably fine, though. Alright, so now we just have to make the next floor, which is going to be a main floor, where we are going to be making stators and quick wire from pipes. Okay, so that should be fine then. So we're going to have to bring the foundations around this. This factory is very large. And we're going to have to bring the foundation over this way. And alright, so that covers up that area which we need to do. Then we need to sort out that area. Get these up onto the next floor. Alright, so let's start placing the lifts in. That expands out just a little bit more. And goes up there. Then we have this one, which goes up. And the spot. Yes, that's the spot. Alright, so then those are in. So now we need to get all of these. So let's widen this a little bit. Alright, so that is now wide enough. So now we just have to bring all these lifts up. We go up like that. And we have to widen this floor too so that I can stand back here. Lots of foundations. Lots and lots of foundations. The good news is that everything being so spread out does make it easier for me to fit things in. Alright, So then this would go up to there and fit in like that. Alright. So then that's one tick ahead of the edge there. Is that correct? Yes, it is. Alright, cool. So now we just put all of these in. And this will be the last big batch of this sort of thing, at least for now. We've managed to compress it down to mostly individual belts, which is always beneficial for organization purposes. Alright, so now all of these just line up. And they all go in. Okay, so now we have all of those up. So then, next step, so we have those two final computers and circuit boards up. We have all these stators up. So now we just have to go over here and bring up all the miscellaneous items. So we get over here, go over this way. And then this all gets foundationed. Alright. And these are all going to be real jammed in next to each other. So they're just going to be like this, pretty much. And then these all snap in, and we have to get the speeds right. So this looks like a Mark III. These two are Mark IVs. And that one is back down to Mark IIIs. Alright. So we have all of those up. Then the next one is making stators, right? So stators are pipes and quick wire. So we need to figure out which of these is quick wire, which one of these is pipes. We need both of those belts accessed on the next floor. So this one is the pipes. So it is the rightmost Mark IV. So let's actually the quick wire is also the other Mark IV, right? So we need those two up on this floor, and then the other three, which are concrete, rubber, and I can't remember what else. Concrete, rubber, and yeah, let's go figure out. Oh, and modular frames are all going to be just going up through this to the next floor up, where we will eventually deal with them at some point, probably. Alright, so now we have our stator production. So let's go over to here and line all of this up. We're going to need plenty of space for some assemblers in this area. So these all go in. And probably this should be enough. And then we have one assembler producing 5 stators going into each of these. Okay, also we need more space around this side. Just just for convenience there. And assembler. So we just have to get these lined up and preferably not really waste any space since it's not needed. These can output just directly down. And then these are making quick wire stators at 5 minute. And that's probably correct. Pretty sure that's right. If not, we will figure out soon. Alright, so these all go in like this. And make sure they all line up. Alright, so these are all in. So now we just put the belts in. So now these will output down to the stators. Right. So these all go in. Alright, so now the thing we need are the pipes and the quick wire, which, if I recall correctly, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, using 10 pipes each. So that's 100 pipes there. And then that was 408 point something pipes. And the total number of pipes I recorded needing is 508. So we are free to produce the pipes on this level. As for the quick wire, 375 plus 272. Is there more? Is there another 150 quick wire being used somewhere? Probably for AI limiters or something. Alright, that's annoying, but fine. So, we're going to be making the steel pipes on this floor, but the quick wire is still not quite, I guess. Although, actually, do we want to just make quick wire in 2 separate places? Because getting it all in one giant belt is going to be annoying. No, we should definitely work backwards. Where is the other thing that uses quick wire? Is it AI limiter? Are we going plastic AI limiter? Yeah, I think we're going plastic AI limiter, and that's the other place that uses them. Because we have a little bit of plastic that we wouldn't be using otherwise. Alright, that's fine. And then the AI limiters are going into, I think, like the crystal oscillators or something. Alright, but we can make the steel on this level, though. So, first let's get the quick wire and all sorted in. Although we might want to work that around the steel production line. Yeah, I think we want to work that around the steel production line. So this is the last place we need the pipes. So that makes 10. So first we need to get our steel pipes, which I guess we can just make all in one giant blob and then sort them out later. Yeah, that'll probably be easier. So let's just go back here. Nice convenient place. And am I using any fancy recipe for the steel pipes? I don't think so. I think if I look at the amount of steel, 781.111. So if I go to this, then yeah, so that's the max there. Now if I were to just get this even more precise, so that would be 763 steel ingots. Oh, but we have 781 that we're using. So where else are steel ingots going? Probably like plates or something. Alright. So we can't just assume we're using all of the steel ingots here. It does need to be balanced there. But we have... the math does work out enough that I'm pretty confident we're just using default constructor pipe recipe. So let's get that in. And so first we need 100 going to these. 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's get these set up then. This is too nice of a split to just waste because it's just one constructor for 2 assemblers. So let's go here and we just get a constructor in, and we want it to have a good amount of distance so that we can maneuver the quick wire in as well. And then the splitter, actually, let's see here, the quick wire is going to have to use a logistics floor to get up anyways. So we can actually make that pretty close then. So what we need is a splitter placed far enough back to leave room for a conveyor lift. And then the constructor can just be immediately on the other side of the splitter, making steel pipes. So we just do something like that, and repeat for all of these. So we start with our splitters, and they are all aligned like this. And then we go to past one of them, and then there. Alright, so these all are in. Then we just have to belt them across like this. And finally the constructors go in. So they're pretty close in. I guess even a third tap like that. How is this lined up? Yeah, just a little bit between the foot and the square. So that is correct. Then that. And that. And one more. Alright, so all of those are in, and we just feed these across. Alright. So that is the steel going into these production lines. Easy peasy. Then we just need to get the rest of the steel produced and sent over to there. And actually, what we need to do before that is probably merge all of this up. So we're just going to need a nice, simple 1 to 5 balancer. And get that across. So this is... Okay, hang on, I have to put the recipes in, which I apparently didn't do. I could have sworn that I did, but I guess not. So if this is 100 steel pipes, then it's going to be 150 ingots, so we're going to need a Mark III belt. Alright, so that is all set up. So yeah, the core of the 1 to 5 splitter is going to need to be Mark III. The rest of it obviously is going to be fine to be Mark I. So that goes like that. This comes out to there. And that goes like that. And this goes over to there. Alright, so that is the steel pipes set up there. Now we just need to set up the other steel pipe setup, which outputs to there. So we're just gonna get a bit more space. And now we need 408 steel pipes, which is considerably more than the 100 that's there. So that's 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140. And we're going to have to expand this out. Still have plenty of space. How many of these were there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 140, 160, 180, 200, 220, 240, 260, 280, 300, 320, 340. Remember that, we're at 340. 360, 380, 400, 420, and then this, well, we're gonna have to figure out how to do this. I think the answer is a speed balancer, probably. So, this last one is gonna be 8.8 repeating. Alright, now these take 30 input, so they can speed balance very easily and conveniently. So that's nice. So let's just get over here. And we just need a splitter every other one. Just like this. And then that splitter will be fed into with a Mark I belt from the main steel line, which is going to have to get reinforced at some point, because I think this is more than a full belt of steel. But that's probably fine. Actually, let's make this... Let's make that straight mode, just for the sake of having it be that way. And now we just have to put all of the belts in. And also we're going to need to fix it, because it isn't that the last one has to be 8.8. It's the last two have to add up to 28.8 or something. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Oh, actually it is, because this is an uneven number. Okay, that's actually supremely annoying. Can I easily resolve this? So if I make this the 8.81, then it's fine. Yes, I make that one 8.88 something. And then the main line just has to go this way, which is honestly just more convenient anyways. Alright, so this is right any center overflow. And I wonder if copying it like that copies the settings. I sure hope so. It would save a lot of time. We will have to see once we get to the other end. Alright, so these all go in. And yes, it does. Cool. So now all of these get Mark 1 belts. And so what we're going to have to do is that at some point down the belt, we're going to have to put more materials on with a merger. Otherwise, a single belt of 480 won't get there. Alright, so this can then all go along. I'm going to have to upgrade that other belt to be, that other constructor to be a full 20 down at this end. Alright, you are back up to that. Alright, so, in terms of the inputs, we have 60, 120, 180, 240, 300, 360, 420, 480. So that is the one which needs the extra steel. So we're just going to chop that out, and then just make a note of that. That is going to need a small amount of steel on it. And then we just have to merge all of these up onto a Mark IV belt to send into that steel belt down there. Alright, so now we just get a whole lot of mergers. And I could have blueprinted this, it would have saved a lot of time, but oh well, too late. So this just goes along. That, yeah, that didn't line up properly. Gotta pay attention to these things. Alright, so these all go in. And just a little bit more. Alright, now this is the last one, and it goes that way. So now we put all of these belts in to attach these to the mergers that I just placed, and then we run the giant Mark IV belt along, which will take them all down to the pipes. Alright, so we just jump along placing these belts in. Once again, regretting my decision to not use many blueprints. Alright, so then this goes across. And can I get that going faster? Yes, I can. Alright. I'm also out of fuel. So let's grab another stack of that. And also take that box because my inventory is virtually full. So now this just has to go over this way. And line up to these. So this, we'll just take it out of that. And along they go. And then they corner around and go into there. Alright, so that should be that. So then the next thing we need to deal with is the quick wire, which we're still not using all of it, so we still can't produce it yet. But let's see, this is 375 quick wire here. And then there's like 272.7 going down that way. So we're going to have to do some fancy stuff to get those two lined up properly. And it might actually be easier to just push the problem back and sort all of the quick wire stuff out at the quick wire production. Yeah, I would say let's do that. That does seem a fair bit easier. Alright, so because it'll be just easier to sort it out once we have all three things together that need to be sorted too, as opposed to trying to do it piecemeal like this. Alright, so quick wire, we have this, so we need to first of all get there's not room on the logistics floor below us, right? Actually there is. That's helpful. Alright, so let's go down here. So we have all the space between these two to get that in. So let's put the floor holes in. And each of these gets a floor hole. And then we're going to go down and put in another 1 to 10 splitter. Why am I so good at making everything be multiples of 10? Like, I get the end product being multiples of 10, but surely at some point in there it would swap around to be more convenient numbers, like multiples of 8. Alright, so those are all in. And now the lifts go in. Now these are each using a relatively large amount of quick wire. So we are going to have to be... What is that doing? We're going to have to be a bit careful with the belt speed limits. Because like these are 37.5 each, so even just combining 2 up is going to be a Mark II belt. And anything past that is going to be Mark IV, I guess. Alright, so we drop down here. And then we just go across. Alright, so now we have all this room. So let's bring these belts down this way. It's going to be considerably more spacious than the other way. All of these go down. And Then just a couple more. Alright, so we have all those. Now we have to get the foundation out for all the space we're going to need. And that might be an issue. You might need to work around that in some way. So first we get the 1 to 2. Going to be as compact as possible. These things somehow just wind up taking up huge amounts of space no matter what you do. And so if you're careless, they end up taking like infinite amounts of space. Alright, so that is all in. Now these belts can be Mark 1. Everything past this has to be at least Mark 2. So these belts go in like that. And now I have 5 of these, which I guess means get the 1 to 5 balancer in. And the spacing is going to be a bit tricky. So we can put that in like that. And first of all, these need to be Mark II belts. And they also need to not run over each other. Alright, so those are in. Then we get the other half of these in. So you go over like that, and then in. And you just come across, and then go in. Alright, so now these are going to need to all be Mark IVs. And then this, I guess just goes back up. Yeah, we're going to need to shift it over a little bit, because there's already a belt there. Wait, actually, this is it going to fit in if it goes a little bit in like that? Let's just put the floor hole in and see, rather than trying to use my horrible depth perception. Alright, so if we do keep it, that's going to have to be a Mark IV belt, obviously. And it does just barely slip through. Alright, so then that is fine. On the next logistics floor, we will, I guess, just send that over to meet up with the others. And that is quick wire accounted for. Approximately, at least. We've gotten it all into one place, so that's good enough. So then the next step is the steel. So we have 150 steel here. We have, what's this going to be, like 30, so we got like 128-ish, 130-ish steel here, 133.33 repeating. And then we have 480 steel there. So 480 plus 150 plus 133.333 repeating is 763 steel. Alright, so this is just exactly a full belt, so that's fine. Then what we need to do is combine these two so that this is 150 and that is the excess. Alright, so 150 should be trivial to get. So we start with our belt. We have to get a 120 and a 30. So we have a merger there. Just going to use that. And we need to get 120 and 30. So let's get a splitter there. Actually make it a smart splitter. And we need a smart splitter there. So that is 120. Then that is 30. As long as we set this up right. Write any. Center overflow. Write any. Center overflow. Alright, so then that is 150. And then we just have to merge in that. Let's see. How do we do this? Hang on. How have I gotten confused now at the easy part? So I need to get a merger there. Go there. Go there. And just so that weird stuff doesn't happen, what is this merger? Just so that weird stuff doesn't happen, I'm gonna make that a priority merger with right set to medium. So that can absolutely only ever accept 150. And then the rest can go over to there. So we just get a splitter, which, again, I think we need this to be a smart splitter just for security's sake. Left any, right overflow. So that's left, it'll get the 150 it can handle. This is right, and it will get anything that goes into that, which is more. And then this belt will go back there to meet up with the other steel belt. So let's drag this across like that, so that we have somewhere to put this. I don't even know if this needs to be a Mark IV belt, but I think it does. I haven't done the math. But I'm pretty sure that it's going to be more than 270. Oh yeah, it's going to be like 280, right? Because it's 150 plus 130-ish. So yeah, it does need to be Mark IV. So now we have our steel all merged up, as best as it can be, of course. So that's a full belt, that's a partial belt. So this then all reduces to steel and quick wire. And so let's then send this up to the next floor, where are we even going to be doing? What are we going to be doing on the next floor? You can't be making steel or quick wire because we still have the other uses of their inputs. So I guess the next floor up, hang on, let's go. Circuit board is pure oil, right? We're doing electrode. Yeah, so circuit board comes exclusively from fuel. However, we are doing crystal computers, which is going to be more rubber and AI limiters and quartz, which is going to be more quick wire and some plastic. So that'll be the crystal oscillators. And then we also need to deal with the modular frames at some point. Which, are we doing steeled frames? Yes, I believe we're doing steeled frames. So that is going to take reinforced iron plates and steel pipes to make modular frames. Actually, did we already do that? Could have sworn we already did that. Isn't that what one of these is? Okay, no, it's not that one. It's... Where were we? That's the stators and the cable. I sworn we needed to make like reinforced iron plates or something, not modular frames. Alright, so this takes modular frames as an input. But we're making the modular frames, so yes, we need the reinforced iron plates. So we can reinforced iron plates we were doing with adhered alt recipe and steel cast plates. So we could do that and get the steel pipes, get the steel out of the way entirely. Or we could just leave them for up near the end. Yeah, let's get the steel out of the way entirely. So the next floor we are going to be making reinforced iron plates with steel ingots and iron ingots. And also going to need to fix that sign wherever it was, because this sign is incorrect. I think it's this one, right? Yes. So this is not the modular frames. This is 17.778 reinforced iron plates. Alright, so that is fixed. And is there anything else we're going to be doing on that floor while we're working with those things? So the AI limiters are the quick wire and plastic. So we could do two things on that floor, right? We could do the last bit of quick wire. Well, no, we would need to assemble the crystal oscillators first. All right, let's do that next. Let's assemble the crystal oscillators next. Wait, but we don't even need crystal oscillators directly. We need computers. All right, so the next step then, the next floor will be computers, and we'll feed those directly from circuit boards, and it's going to be a whole thing. All right, so let's get over here, get some walls up, get those walls to go over, and then we need another bit of space, and then the next main floor. Now, what do we need the logistics floor for? So we need to grab some of this stuff over to make the computers. Actually, let's just make the computers and then figure out the logistics floor stuff that needs to happen afterwards. That seems easier to me at the moment. So I'm going to go over here because that's where those things are, approximately. And how many computers? We need 20 computers. So we need 20 computers. Let's clear out a solid amount of space. And is the crystal computers in the assembler? It is. Cool. Alright, so this is 3.3 repeating, which, let's see, would be just 6 of these go into 20 computers, right? So that's easy. We don't even need to underclock it any, which we would have done if we were sending all the computers down directly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 assemblers making our computers. So then we just need to get the splitters in. Actually, we only need like 3 on this first row because it's 1 to 6, so it's 1 to 3 and 1 to 2. But I need to make sure to leave space for the lifts on the other one. So those go into those 3. And these go into those 3. And then those go across. And this can be the whichever one it doesn't matter, circuit boards, I guess. Well, it will matter in a moment because we're going to have to send the rest of the circuit boards down. So yeah, let's have these be the circuit boards. And then we have space down here, right? Yeah, obviously we haven't even started the next logistics floor yet. So let's get in some floor holes here. And again, should be an easy split, just 1 to 6. So these all go in. And the lifts go in. Like that. So now we go down to the logistics floor. And we bring this across. And over this way, where we will build our 1 to 6 splitter real fast. Alright, so then this comes down like this. And there. And now we just do this. Alright. And we just have to do the same thing. So the 1 to 3s that go there. And there. And then we get 1 to 2s after that. Alright, so all of those belts go in. And that is that. So now we can just, I guess, send this back up there. And then that will be the crystal oscillators, which are probably just going to be going straight up to the next logistics floor up, because we're not going to need them for anything else. Or actually, let's see about just assembling the crystal oscillators here. I think that would make the most sense. So we have this belt of crystal oscillators. Now let's get some space. How many we need total? 10. We need 10 crystal oscillators total, because Because this is like 1 to 2. Yeah. So, I think they're manufacturer only. So this insulated crystal oscillator is the source of the AI limiters that we need. And actually, if I set that to 1.66 something, then we'll need 6 of them, right? 0.6667 times 6 is 10. Yes. So, we just have to get 6 of these in. And hopefully, being 6 of them should make the splitting for the next step up easier as well. Unless it doesn't, in which case, whoops. But it should. 2, 3. And we need more space over here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And did I successfully copy the recipes across? I did. Cool, go me. Alright, so now we just have to merge all of these guys up and send them down that convenient floor hole. Alright, so that just points that way. And then we all line up. These all go across. And there we go. Alright, so that is crystal oscillators made. Oh, wait. What is this? Why are you like this? Please just be normal. Thank you. Not anything weird happening below, is there? No, that looks correct. Alright, so now we have crystal oscillators go directly into the computers. And then this lift is just going to go straight up, because that's the circuit boards. Alright, so for the crystal oscillators, then we have rubber and quartz crystal. Now the rubber, we already have a belt for. So let's go with AI limiters next. The rubber is going to be coming from up when we do the oil floor, basically. I'd like to do all the oil-related fluid stuff on one floor if possible. Alright, so next up is AI limiters, which we need these, quick wire, and plastic. And this is 1.667 each. So let's just hang on. There's 3 recipes in this, so we have the room to merge 2 of them up below and 1 of them up on this floor, and then have everything be all good. So let's do that. So the AI limiters will merge up on this floor since, you know, we're going to be crafting them on this floor. So, go here, and they get, make sure there's enough space that we don't cause any problems with the floor holes. So we go 1, 2. These don't all need splitters. It's 1 to 6, right? 1, 2, 3, yeah. So it's 1 to 6, so that one is correct. And then this one needs 1. Alright, so now these two lined up, they are good. Alright, so then we just attach those into their 3. This one into its 3. And there we go. And now we get that split. What did I just place? I have no confidence that that did what I wanted it to do. I'm just going to replace it real quick. Won't take any extra time. Alright, so now we have the AI limiters all merged up. So then the next step is the AI limiters, which I believe are also going to require a manufacturer, right? No, just an assembler. It's going to be 2 assemblers. Alright, so those all go back. Then we get... These can be quite close, I think. Oh, maybe not that close. Can we fit in the... Yeah, no, let's move them just a touch back. That ought to be plenty. And you are set to plastic AI limiter. Half of it, so 5 a minute. And then we just merge the 2 of you up. And now all of that goes in. And that's the AI limiters done. Which will be using the last bit of quick wire, as well as some plastic. And then the crystal oscillator is going to be using the last bit of rubber. So now we have some more work to do. So now we have to go down to the lower floor and get the other 2 of these in. So these need all of their floor holes. Alright, then you get some floor holes. And then you get some floor holes. Alright, so those are all in. Now we put the lifts. I always feel British when I refer to these as lifts. They're elevators, but that's fine. You can call them either way. Not sure that that one snapped in properly. Looks like it did, though. Well, if we turn the factory on and something has gone wrong there, then we'll know. Alright, so those are all in. So now we just have to drop below and set up those splitters. Alright, so these go across. And so each of these goes in 2 separate directions. It's going to be easier just to go one direction at a time. So those all go down, and then these face this way. And somehow we missed these 2 over here. Let's make sure to get those in. And all good. Alright, so now we just have to put the foundations in. Like that. And then we put the splitters. So you get 1. And you get 1. Actually, we can put those in more closely, and it'll be better. No point wasting space, although in this case, I think it just absolutely does not matter. So that's 3. And that is 1. And 2 and 3. Now, I should actually confirm, are either of these fast? Quartz crystals is a little bit fast, but it's not really. I mean, so that's going to be 100. That's going to be less than 100. Let's go there. So that's going to be 70, and the quartz crystals are going to be 100. So the final belt for both of those is going to have to be faster, but everything up to that point is fine as Mark 1s. Alright, so that is all lined up. Then we just do the same thing on the other side. So you get a splitter. And you get a splitter. Then all of these go in. Like that. And then finally we just have to split them across. So this goes over here and in there. Alright, so now that that is all in, we need to deal with the splitting of that off of the main lines. So that is going to be rubber and quartz crystals. The quartz crystals are fine because I'm pretty sure that's the only place that uses them. The rubber is not fine because we're going to have to balance it. So let's see. This is the AI limiters. Have that sorted. So what we need to do is we need to get the quick wire and the rubber over here, so that we can split them properly. Now, we're going to have to do a couple of logistics floors in. Yes, we're going to have to get... Actually, we can probably do all of that on this logistics floor and then send the quick wire up here and the rubber up there. So yeah, let's... Does that even make sense? Not really. Alright, so which of these was the one that used the quick wire? It was that one? Alright, so what we're going to need to do is... How do we do this? Working like kind of backwards, but also simultaneously kind of forwards is sort of melting my brain right now. We are going to need to bring this foundation over there either way. Alright. Now why did we bring the quick wire out on this floor? Were we going to use it and I forgot to hook it up to something? Does this use... Yes, this uses quick wire. And I assume that goes down this floor. And that's all of these guys merging up. Okay, I definitely left some stuff undone. So this is the quick wire belt that this floor uses, the 375. Then that's the quick wire belt that one uses. And then up here somewhere into those two machines would be the quick wire belt that these guys use. Alright, so let's actually get those split because somehow I forgot. It's the easiest thing to do. literally just a 1 to 2 split, like that. And I don't know why I put a floor hole there. Alright, so that is 150. And let's drop down here. So this is 375, which is a lot for such an unobtrusive random spot in the middle. Is that right? Yeah, that is a Mark IV belt that I placed there, isn't it? Alright, cool. So this foundation comes across to be over here so that we can bring this up onto the next floor. And alright, I guess that works. Looks a bit funny, but it's probably fine. Alright, so this is a belt of 375 quick wire. Then this is a belt of 150. Actually, we can do all of this on that floor below, just because stuff is down there already. So let's just send these down. And they require 75 each. And then the plastic can be the one that merges up on this floor. Alright, so now we are here. We have those two, which go like that. And across. And then they merge up like that. And so that belt is 150. That belt is 375. And then we're going to have to run all the way over here for this belt, which is... I can't even remember what it is. It's some weird number, right? 272.7 or something. So the goal is going to be to get the splits correct for the other ones. So this goes up and there. Alright, so that, they're all now on the same logistics floor. Which means it's time for some good old-fashioned load balancing. Once I get them in approximately the same vicinity as each other. I have to drag this belt way over there. Alright, so this belt comes on over. And just a little bit more. Alright, this is close enough. So, we need to get 150 off of the belt, which should be trivial, right? We can do that with just... We've done that once already even, with just 120 plus a 30. 375. 375 is a little bit harder. Minus 270 is 105. Okay, not ideal. How about divide that by 5? We get 75. Alright, what if we divide it by 25? We get 15. So, does that help me? Not really. I want to do a 1 to 25 splitter. So can I get 75 easily? It's a 6 and a 15. Is it? So it's a 60 plus 15 is 75. Both of those are pretty easy to get. but then I would have to do that 5 times to add up to 375. So 480 minus 375 is 105. Actually, I've seen that number before. Because 375 minus 270 is 105. So if we're 105 more than a slower belt and 105 greater than a faster belt, is there a way of leveraging that? If we get 270 plus 480 divide by 2, no, divide by 3. Oh, yeah, we gotta do parentheses for that, probably. Yes, so 270 plus 480 divided by 2 is 375. Alright, so if we get half of a 480 belt and half of a 270 belt, we can get a 375 belt. Can I get both of those things, though, is the question. So 270 plus 480 is 750. We have 797 quick wire total, so I can. I just have to make it be the first thing. Alright, so let's go and take up some space over here real quick. So we have our incoming would be on 2 Mark IV belts of 797.7 minus 480. So we would have 317 and 480. And let's just assume that that is how we're going to be dividing it, and we'll make sure that actually we can assure that it works that way fairly simply. So we have our first belt, we have our second belt. 2 of these are containing a whole lot of stuff. So what we do is we get a priority merger and a smart splitter. We want them to line up perfectly, of course. So that goes like that. This takes priority from the center, which is this one. Then this smart splitter, which has to be a smart splitter, sends everything to the left that it can take, which means that this will be a full belt. And then this will be the remaining 300-ish. Alright, so now that that is a full belt, then the next step is going to be to immediately split it. So this is our... Actually, we can make those like that. So these are our 240s. Then this one is a bit more complicated. So it needs to go a bit further forwards. And then... Actually, this will be better if I put a merger in there and then align this with that. Alright, so now that goes a bit forwards, and then we get another splitter in here. So this is a 270 belt, which left is going to be any, and center will be overflow. So this belt is 270. Then half of it go to there. Is going to have to be faster. And then the other half comes out there. So, all told, this belt is 375. This belt is 240. This belt is some extra stuff. And then this belt is some more extra stuff. Alright, so let's then merge those in to each other. So we have our belt of 375. And that's just going to go right into there. Next, we need to make a belt of 150, which I guess we can pull off of that one. So this is going to get a smart splitter and a second smart splitter immediately after. So let's fill in some of this area. Alright, so this belt is guaranteed to be 240, right? Right. Just gotta be careful not to make any mistakes, because that would be very bad. So this belt is 240. Now we take 120 off. And we take 60 off. And then we have to split the 60. So that half of it meets up with the 120. And then the other half goes off to do other things. And then that is, we have to set these up. Left any center overflow. Left any center overflow. So that's 120. Then this is 150. And these two belts combined are going to be some excess. Alright, so this 150 belt, yeah, let's actually maneuver some of this stuff around just so that these belts all fit in better. I want you to go around like that, and then more sharply into there. Now this 150 belt can come around here and around there, and then this splitter is going to face the other way. Like that. And those have to be Mark II belts. Don't forget that, because they're 75 each. And then that meets around to go up there. So that is 150 and 375. So now we have all these belts of garbage, which are these two and that one. And now these all meet up and go over there. And we're gonna have to go vertically, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Hello? Go Conveyor pole, please be dismantled. Alright, so that all combines up. Then we need this to go up a little bit. And then over. And then all of this merges together. And grab the wrong output. It's that one. Yeah. Alright. So, assuming I haven't made any mistakes and I've set everything up right, let's just start from the top. So we have 480 and 300 some. So we go 240 that way, 240 that way. This 240 is going to go this way, and 120 is going to go there, because that's that. Then 60 is going to go there, and then 30 of that 60 is going to go there, so that's 150, and then the excess, which will be what? So that's 90. The excess 90 will go over that way. Doesn't need to be Mark IV belts, but that's fine. Then the other 240 goes there, meets up with what? So that's 270. So meets up with this 135 to make 375 and go there. Then the excess all goes that way and makes that 270 something belt. Alright, I think we have done it. I think we have successfully split the quick wire. And now these two belts can actually just be whatever is most convenient when I'm building the quick wire production line. Which I could do now, I guess. Alright, so then these still need their plastic. And these still need their rubber. So the rubber is the next one that I need to manage. So how much rubber is this here? It's 11.667 times 6. Yes, 11.667 times 6 is 70. And that's going to obviously round if I put enough decimal points in. So there's 70 rubber there, which is not a horrible number to get, although it's not a wonderful number to get. Then we have to find the rest of the rubber, which is all the way down here somewhere. Which one of you bozos uses rubber? Is it this one? Yes, it is this one. 4.545 times what? 40? Is 181.8. Alright, we've not even used half the rubber yet. Where does the rest of the rubber go? We have marked down 590 rubber. But I've barely used half of that. That's concerning. Very concerning indeed. Okay, that's a problem. I might be missing something. So we have 181.8 plus 70 is 251.8. So 590 minus 251.8 is 338.2. That number does not ring a bell at all. I don't think I've ever seen that number in my life. Okay, oh, the rest of it goes to the reinforced iron plates. Maybe no, there's no way. reinforced iron plates with adhered plates. No, that's just going to be another... as much... It's 1-to-1, right? Yeah, so that's 1-to-1. So that's going to be another 17-ish rubber. Oh, is it there iron plates? No, we're not using any rubber there. Okay, that's a bit of a crisis, isn't it? Which one of these things is using an extra, like, 300 rubber? Is it... Oh, it might be circuit boards. Are these, like, rubber... Alright, yes. The rest of it is the circuit boards. Alright. So, in that case... I think we probably don't split the rubber off. We do like what we did with the quick wire, and we just get all of it in one go. Alright, so we have all of this. Then the only thing left for this floor is the circuit boards, the quartz crystals, and we're going to have to obviously get everything up to the next floor. So on the next floor, what do we need to bring up? We need to bring up circuit boards, we need to bring up quartz crystals and rubber. And we need to bring up plastic and quick wire. So that should all be fine because this is all pre-split. The plastic isn't, but I mean it's trivial, right? It's literally just a 1-to-2. There's no real fancy business there. So let's just pop that in now, I guess. Alright, so plastic is split. The rubber we're going to need to bring up. And was there anything else on these lower floors that I've missed? Yes, there's this. And there's whatever this is. What is this? Oh, that's the actual physical computer output, which I never quite hooked up. Right, so if we go up to the top of all this, then these computer assemblers are just pointing into nothingness. So let's do that. And it is 4:30, so I'm not going to go for too much longer. But we're not quite done yet. So let's just merge all these computers up. Alright, so all the computers merge up. And then we're just going to have to send them down and get them to that floor hole. Alright, so that's done. There's nothing directly under this, right? Right. Alright, so then we get a floor hole in there, which goes down. And then this all goes in. Alright, I think we need to send this down another layer, right? Down to one of these two, technically. I think either one still works. And this one is right here, so I guess we'll do that one. Alright, where were we? We were right there. Alright, so then this floor hole goes in there. That comes down. And down to there. And across into that. Alright, so that is computers hooked up. So, then the next thing is to get this other one, which will be the circuit boards. And we need to send those up. Probably need to stop falling down layers. So we need to send the circuit boards up probably just over this way as well, because this is where the output is going to be. Although, actually, we need them to merge up with the input, right? Where is that? The computers take circuit boards as input, and that would be probably this one, because it hasn't one of these two. So these two are going to be circuit boards and quartz crystals, I think, unless I'm completely mistaken. No, this is insulated crystal oscillator. It's completely different. It's quartz crystals and rubber. So the circuit board is going to be this row right here. Which, oh, did I just send them right back up? No, this... What on earth? So this is the crystal oscillators. It goes down, it goes in, and it goes back up. This is the circuit boards here. Right, that makes sense. Okay. So let's go up, and we're going to get all the resources onto the next level, and then probably split the circuit boards between their two destinations. Alright, so that should be covered. Now this goes up. So that feeds the circuit boards for all of those. Now, the actual circuit boards for the final production are in some weird spot down here, which hopefully is just in the middle of nowhere and we can just send it straight up. Would be the most convenient, if that were possible. Alright. Still good. But I think there's probably going to be a machine directly on top of them there. Yeah, so they're going to have to come out and around, probably to just over there-ish. So this area should be clear, actually. Alright, so if we go out to... So these are the AI limiters. This area is where the circuit boards come in and go up. So can I just pop that hole in the floor there so I can see where all this stuff is relative to each other? It's right here. Alright, so then if we just put you in there, then you go across to there, and now we have our circuit boards, which can go up right next to the other ones for convenience sake. Alright, we can pop that hole back in. Alright, so we have our two different belts of circuit boards there. And let's actually just do that right now. This is 30, right? So we have 80 circuit boards total. We're sending 30 into this one. So that's obviously trivial. And I just want to do this before I end the stream because everything's going to be in my head and it'll be easier. Alright, so we have a splitter there, which goes into there. The other side, so then we have a splitter here, which is a smart splitter. And go center any left overflow. So then that, so we have 80 coming in here. So we have 80 coming in here, 60 goes there, 30 goes there, 30 goes there, 20 goes there, and then that adds up to 50. Alright, so now we can label this, go to organization, display sign, let's label this as circuit boards, and we get 80 of them. Alright, so that's in. Then we have to go back here. So this sends 2 belts down below for sorting, right? So we have these 2. So we're going to have to bring those back up, which we can probably just do over here. So we just put a couple of floor holes in there and there. Then both of these should be able to access those relatively easily. And I don't know how fast these have to be. We're going to have to figure that out in a moment when we write down our sign. For now, we'll just assume Mark 2. And then this one will be the same. That goes down there and into there. Alright, so these are the quartz crystals and the rubber. So 16.666 times 6 is 100. Alright, let's actually bring these up to the top. Mark 2 is going to be good enough for both of these, which means we don't have to do any more. We can just bring these up to the logistics floor and label them. So that goes there and there. And up they go, and it doesn't currently matter which one is which. So it's 100 quartz crystals and some weird number of rubber. So let's get these in. And then bring the belts out. So we need this sign to be quartz crystals 100. Then we need this sign to be, is it 11? So rubber and 70. So this is 70 rubber. Rubber there, and 70. Alright, so we have 80 circuit boards there. We have 100 quartz crystals there, 70 rubber there. What is next? We have that, which is the plastic. So let's just go over to it and send it up. This is like 35, right? Yes, 35. 17.5 times 2. Alright, so then that goes up to there, and down there. And then we get up here, and we pop that in. Pull out the belt, and label it as plastic 35. Okay, so that's another one there. So next up is the quick wire. So these foundations go over here. And we need to approximately fill that in. Oh, but these need to go up onto this floor and then up further past. Alright, that's going to be a little bit more troublesome. Alright, so then we get these two in. Just there and there. And bring these down. And across. Alright, so now we go up a little bit further. And we continue sending these up to there, and no, not there. They're farther apart than that for some reason. There and there. And now we go up here and bring these out as quick wire, and it's going to be some weird number each. So how much is that? 797.7 divided by 2 is 398.85. Sure. That's fine. So this is quick wire, and it's apparently 398.85 each, although again, doesn't really matter how they're distributed as long as the total amount is correct. Alright, so that is in. Then, alright, we need to go over there to bring the steel, which is going to be like a billion floors down. So let's go over here. So is this the first floor above the steel? Yes it is. So we need to go up just a bunch of floors real quick. So this goes up there. And just right on that intersection. So this is a full speed belt. Then this one goes to those splitters, and it's the remainder of the steel here. And this is like what, 133.3. Gotta check this last one. Yeah, so it's 133.333 steel plus another 150 steel, so it's 283.333. Very, very normal number. So let's get that in there. I'm gonna have to cut that back a little bit to make it fit properly. And then line that back up again. Alright, so then we go up to here, and we have to go up another 2 whole floors for this. So it's 283.333 steel is the weird one. Gotta keep that one in the old memory bank until we finish this. So let's get both of these floors over there first. Alright, so we go up and across and a little bit more across and then over that way. Alright, so now we go down here and these two continue to go up. And then we go up here, and they continue to go up. So then those go down there, and now these are on the correct floor. Put those in, and we put the labels in. Alright, labels, display sign, steel ingots, 480. And then we go display sign, steel ingots, 283.333. Alright, that is the steel. So next, and I think last, so we have all of that stuff, right? So I think the last thing we need is to head over to these and get the ones that we haven't dealt with up. So that's the concrete and the rubber, I think. And I do not know which is which. Oh no, it's the concrete and the reinforced iron plates, isn't it? I think we dealt with the rubber at some point. Or maybe not. No, there are 3 of them. Alright, so it's 240 concrete, some amount of reinforced iron plates. So let's get the stuff built up first. So we have to get the foundations over here for both of the additional floors. Then we need to put all the conveyor lifts up. Alright, so we go over here. Go even further over here. Then we turn this way and go over here. Alright, so that is one of the 2 floors done. Then we just have to get this next logistics floor over. So this goes over here and continues to go over here and a little bit further and then over that way. Alright, so now we have to go all the way down here and I think that is lined up right. So now we need to bring all of these belts up. So this one here is the reinforced iron plates, and it's just Mark 1. Then this one here is a Mark 3, whatever it is. Probably the concrete. Actually, we had 2 Mark 3s, didn't we? Yeah, so that's probably the concrete, and the other one is probably the rubber. Alright, so the pattern is Mark 1, Mark 3, Mark 4, Mark 3. So then we get up to this one, and we use that Mark 4. Okay, but we obviously need to curve this so that it isn't just on top of the other ones. So you go like that, and out there. So it's 1, 3. So this is a Mark 1, and those two are Mark 3s, basically. Yep, so that lines up right. So we just have to get all of these in. And bring all of these down. And then I think just one more up, and then we have to figure out what exactly is in all of these. Although I think I know, but I'm not 100% certain. Alright, so then that goes down, that goes down, that goes down. Alright, so I know this far right one is the reinforced iron plates. So let's bring that one out. Display sign. And it is reinforced iron plates. 17.7777, etc. Then I'm pretty sure that this is the concrete and this is some rubber. But I'm not 100% on that, so let's drop down to check. So all the way down here, we have this one that I'm riding on now. Should be concrete. Okay, we do have a previous sign down here. Yes, 240 concrete. So then the other one is the rubber. And that is this one here. Yeah, so this one I'm pretty sure is rubber. Let's get over to where it is to figure out if that's true or not. Alright, so this splits into these guys and goes down, I think. Yeah, so they go down to these machines. There's quick wire and rubber. And I know it's not quick wire because that's the quick wire. So this is the rubber. So it is 4.545 times 40. It's 181.818 probably. 181.8 rubber. So let's get over there, label that up. And then it's going to be like exactly 5 o'clock. Alright, so up one last floor. Display sign of rubber and 181.8. I'm just going to assume that that's a repeating pattern. Just go 818. It won't be much off if it isn't. Alright, is that everything? I believe that is everything. So we have all this stuff. Plastic there, we have another 70 rubber there. 100 quartz crystals there, we have 80 circuit boards there. Yeah, I think that's everything. It's always possible I've missed something because this is somewhat of a behemoth of a factory. But I think that's all from the lower floors. So now we just need to craft all of these things and then we'll be done. Which, we're at the point where it's all pretty simple stuff, right? Like this is just steel ingots, rubber. Circuit boards are the most complicated, but even they're not terrible. They just take rubber and petroleum coke. So we have some quick wire to do, some plastic to do. and some quartz crystals to do. So yeah, it's pretty much circuit boards and a whole bunch of basic stuff. So, I mean, it's reasonably likely, not 100%, but reasonably likely that we will finish this factory on Friday. So if you're interested in watching me finish off this giant project, then make sure to stop by. So I'll be continuing this on Friday. I stream every weekday from 2 to 5 Eastern Time. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I play Factorio, where I am very slowly figuring out how the game works, basically. Working on getting trains right now. And then, aside from that, so yeah, on Friday I'll be finishing this off, also from 2 to 5 Eastern Time. So I think that's it. Thanks, Evan, for hanging out. Had a good time here today. Got a lot done. So make sure to follow if you haven't already, just so that you can catch my future streams whenever I go live. And I will see